Welcome to Battle of the Ports and those little pesky dragons, Bubble and Bobble, on the 1994 puzzle game debut, Puzzle Bobble, also known as Bust a Move in the West. Now, a lot of people think that this game started life on the Neo Geo, but in fact, Taito made Puzzle Bobble for the System B arcade board in June 1994. This version was only ever released in Japan. The object of the game is to clear all the bubbles from the arena without any bubbles crossing the bottom line. Bubbles will fire automatically if the player remains idle. After clearing the arena, the next round begins with a new pattern of bubbles to clear. The game consists of 32 levels. The fired bubbles travel in straight lines, stopping when they touch other bubbles or reach the top of the arena. If a bubble touches identically coloured bubbles, forming a group of 3 or more, those bubbles, as well as any bubbles hanging from them, are removed from the field of play, and points are awarded. After every few shots, the ceiling of the playing area drops down slightly, along with all the bubbles stuck to it. The number of shots between each drop of the ceiling is influenced by the number of bubble colours remaining. The closer the bubbles get to the bottom of the screen, the faster the music plays, and if they cross the line at the bottom, then the game is over. In December 1994 came the Neo Geo version, which was released worldwide. This is technically the first port. It's pretty much identical to the Taito System B original, besides now having stereo audio and a few tiny graphical changes. January 13th, 1995 saw the Super Famicom port hit the stores in Japan. This version mixes things up a little with the introduction of fire and lightning bubbles early on. Hitting these bubbles will cause a chain reaction, allowing for easier screen clearing abilities. Sound-wise, the Super Famicom port is pretty close to the original, but in terms of looks, it is clear that the graphics have taken a hit in resolution. Still, the game does look fine and plays really well. On May 2nd, the Neo Geo CD port was released. This, as to be expected, is the same as the Neo Geo version, but now with updated audio. This is the Western release that goes under the stupid title of Bust a Move. I mean, come on, that title doesn't even make sense. Bust a move is a phrase used for dancing. I bet you didn't know Puzzle Bobble was on the 3DO. This version was developed by Microcabin, a company not known for quality, and it shows. Rather than porting over the arcade game, they went and ported over the Super Famicom version. The only extra this has over the Super Famicom is the ability to save your scores. There were a variety of Windows releases, but we'll stick with the original Windows 95 release that hit Japanese stores in 1995, but didn't hit Western stores until June 1998 in Europe and sometime in 1999 for US gamers. This port was developed by Keensoft and is kind of its own thing. I'd say it's based upon the Super Famicom version, but with its own added graphical details and arranged soundtrack. It's also the highest resolution version of the original Puzzle Bobble so far. August 2nd, 1996 saw the first of 3 handheld ports onto the Game Gear, and what a great little version of Puzzle Bobble this is. Complete with various modes of play, including the main game, which once again is based upon the Super Famicom version. I'm especially liking the rendition of the Puzzle Bobble music. Not bad for the Game Gear. WonderSwan was next in the handheld ports, with the Yoshida Yama Workshop developed port coming out on July 1st, 1999. While this is a reasonable port, I'd say it is the worst playing. The designs of the bubbles are tricky to make out at times, plus the way they are arranged can really throw you off. This is to be expected though, as Yoshida Yama Workshop have never made anything that good. There are a few ports of Puzzle Bobble on mobile phones of the day, with the Japanese ones being very good, but as always is the case, it's next to impossible to find Japanese mobile Java games. So instead we are taking a look at 2 Western versions, starting off with a Nokia port. This and the following version both follow the same rule of a never-ending game, much in the way of Tetris. This port is shit. There's no denying it. You can't even hold left or right to move the arrow. You have to keep pressing the button. Here's the other version. At least this looks more like traditional Puzzle Bobble with traditional controls, but it seems to be lacking sound, even though I have it switched on. And let's take a look at all those versions of Puzzle Bobble running side by side.